Age of Empires III, a classic RTS game, revamped as a definitive edition. This 15-year-old game followed the release of its just as popular, if not even more popular, Age of Empires I and Age of Empires II. Both of these games also have a definitive edition to hype up the long-anticipated release of Age of Empires IV coming this fall. There are three different categories of civilizations in Age of Empires III: the Europeans, the Asians, and the Native Americans. Each of these play very differently. Each civ inside these categories also have their own unique features, whether it's from an economic advantage or a military advantage. For example, the Dutch get banks, which passively produce coin, or the Russians, which can train units in bigger batches than other civs. The fundamentals of Age of Empires is to collect resources, then age up with your choice of politician, which can give you bonuses or extra resources. Then you can start to build up your army to attack. But remember to keep building up your economy, otherwise you will fall behind and be outnumbered. The three resources are food, wood and gold. Each resource needs a continuous supply if you want to continue building your empire. You will quickly learn that some units have bonuses against other units. For example, skirmishers have a bonus against musketeers, musketeers have a bonus against cavalry, and cavalry have a bonus against cannon. You'll quickly learn the bonuses and counters better and better the more you play a civilization. A common problem with new players is the production of villagers. It is very important to have your town centre in use at all times, whether it's aging up, making villagers, or getting an upgrade. A couple extra villagers could decide the fate of the rest of the game. Villagers are priority. The definitive edition of the game didn't only bring better graphics, which now fit the 2021 standard, it also brings a new and improved UI, improved multiplayer system, improved home city to keep the battlefield fair for new players, but also two new civilizations, the Inca and the Swedes. Both of these civs are very unique, the Inca having a passive income of all houses, the Swedes having torps which spawn with a berry bush, which passively collect it over time. If a torp is placed next to coin or wood or any other resource, it also slowly collects it. Since the release of the definitive edition, there's been one more civ added, the Americans. Completely new mechanics and new home city cards, the immigration cards, which has a little bit of everything from all the other civs. For example, a bank wagon from the Dutch, or cour de bois from the French. The UI changes are significant, allowing the player to see more of the screen. 3 different options have been added, so you can choose the one that fits your liking the best. Zoom distance has also been increased for a clean and easy to use look. One of the best civs for beginners is the French. This is because of their cour de bois. These are the French equivalent to peasants. The only difference is that they collect resources faster and have a lot more hit points. This is very good for beginners. When there are raids, peasants will be able to survive longer for them to garrison. The French are very versatile with their units, meaning you can experiment more and figure out what units can counter what. Fast fortressing is a very common strategy. The goal is to get to Age 3, the Fortress Age, as soon as possible, before getting any units or upgrades. You can typically do this by having all of your villagers on food, then shipping a 700 gold crate in Age 2. This can grant you very powerful units and upgrades, but at the cost of being vulnerable at the start of the game. On the complete other side of fast fortressing, there is rushing, where your priorities are to build up an army as quickly as possible, before the enemy have a chance to get anything together. This is risky, as if your rush doesn't win you the game, you'll be very behind on economy, and your opponent will be able to build up a much stronger force. You can do this by staying at Age 2. This means your units are less powerful, but you'll have a much bigger force. Water booming is a very powerful strategy if your opponent doesn't know how to counter it. As if you own the water, there is no chance of your boats getting destroyed. Water booming is building lots of fishing boats and getting shipments for fishing upgrades. The reason this is powerful is because your boats are out of the way, take up no population space, and are relatively cheap. If your opponent does know how to counter it though, this could be bad as all of your boats will get destroyed, costing you lots of wood and gold. I hope that this has helped you in any way. Just remember, every game you play, you will get better.